Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, another dollar in here at the shop Monday morning. I turned around and I checked the transmission yesterday. I pulled it apart, checked everything. The clutches look great in it, honestly. So didn't find nothing wrong with it other than that input shaft. So replace that, put it back together, and we're about to do our startup video. Like I said, I done stuck it in, so let's crank it up, see if we got gears. Oil pressure's good, line pressure's still good. Pull it back to neutral. We got a reverse. Alright, got good line pressure there. Now there's our first gear. Got a second. I put it underneath the load because it's so hard to tell if the transmission's working or not on the first and second shift. Like right here, watch this. So if you hold the RPM steady and you go, see how it never really moves mile an hour, but the way you can tell it is if you put it on a bind like this and you shift, you can feel it clump. So good to go. We're gonna have us a race car for Thursday. Here in the garage tonight working on my jump. We've been using Dextron 5. We used to use Dextron 3. This stuff right here stinks. It stinks automatically. That stuff stinks coming out the jug. Like it freaking bothers me just smelling it. When we're pouring the car, every time my dad's like, man, that new Dextron, that stuff stinks like crazy. So I think that's part of the issue. The stuff I've been smelling is that we're putting stinking fluid in it. Kenneth Warder gave me a tip, told me to put some castor oil in it or whatnot, that they've had good luck at castor oil blue. Well, I went to Tractor Supply, I went looking around Lincoln, couldn't find it. So I went and got some Valvoline. What I noticed about the old Valvoline here, if you get Valvoline to Dex Merc, if you come up in here, it's the equivalent of 3, and this stuff don't stink as bad. So I got that, and I also got an additive. There is an additive. I don't even know where it's at. I don't even know who it's made by. Well, it has to be around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. But I put an additive in this that's supposed to help with heat. So we're going to see. We're going to try it out and see how it does. It's a lube some kind of company, but it says it helps with heat or whatever. So we're going to try it out. Maybe it'll stay alive a little longer. Y'all wish me luck. But let's get this fluid. I always go through on this thing and I drain the fluid, like when I drain the fluid out of, this is all brand new fluid, so it looks dark, but it ain't. I've cleaned the pan and all. But I always pour it in like this and jack it up because that dipstick I have, that little hole right there, takes for freaking ever. So I always fill it up like this, put it up there, put my gasket on it, use my transmission jack to jack it up, put my bolts in it, and that way I'm already 6 quarts in on this. That way I ain't got to put so many in it. The other 4 comes a little easier. Alright guys, got it up to operating temperature, sitting there letting it run, check the fluid in it. Let's check the trans brake. That first one's always rough to get it to build boost. She struggles on it. First spool up's always a little rough. Like I said, that turbo, she a big old girl. That turbo combined with that converter, that first one's always a struggle. So I think at the track, I think I'm gonna start putting on the trans brake before I go up for first round, because that first hit, I always struggle getting it up on boost in time to get in the beam. So I'm gonna go through and try to alleviate that one of these days. We'll see. But anyways, we getting there. Transmission seems good, seems healthy. Tore it apart, everything looked good inside of it. Clutches look good, so I'm feeling pretty good about all that. Got new fluid in it. we're good to go. So I'm gonna wipe out underneath this thing and see if I can't clean it up for tonight and see how it is. Also, we got old Vincent's car. Vincent bought this seat from Nigel, and it's actually the nicer version of the seats I have, because they don't have the big sides. Well, his hips are a little too wide for that. My hips fit just perfect. So I think I'm gonna take my seat out, put my seat in his car, and put that seat in my car. We're just gonna swap with him because he can't fit the seat after buying it, but that thing fits me perfect. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that thing up in my car, probably more than likely, if I had to guess. I'm just gonna go ahead and put his. Yeah, we're gonna tube the front end of that. He got a rock solid front. We're gonna do subframe connectors. We got a rock solid front end. We're gonna tube the front of it. I got some rust stuff I'm gonna repair on the front of it and all that. We're gonna get this thing done this week for him. All right, guys, well, working on this thing. Got to looking, and this seat right here, Vincent bought it from Nigel, and it's a 16.5 side to side. Well, it just so happened his butt don't fit that. He's a little too wide for that. This is 17.5. This is the economic seat. That's the Pro Series. The Pro Series on these seats have slants here. They slope where this comes out more. The Pro, the seat's a little bit taller as far as gives you a little bit more head support. But the Pros also have fasteners right here that fasten around it, where the other ones just have two little strips that stretch on. This has a little bolster in the bottom of it for around where your butt area is. So I'm gonna mount this, and in my car is my driver's seat. So I got the covering all for it. I'll get it mounted up. I went ahead and pulled it out. I pulled the passenger side out since the seats ain't gonna match anyways. I went ahead and pulled the passenger side to give us a lot better access to the intercooler anyways. Might move that. The intercooler, might drop it down in that floor and lock her in, maybe. We'll see. I mean, not intercooler, but the ice box is coming up. Never mind. Scratch that idea. We back to the economic. You know I'm cheap. Heck, I need a Pro seat for. I ain't no Pro driver. So anybody looking for a seat, I got a Pro seat for sale right here, because I ain't gonna put mismatching seats in my car. I like the Pro seat, but I don't like the Pro seat. I like the Pro seat sitting on the floor right here, sitting in it. I like the Pro seat. I do not like the Pro seat once I put it in the car trying to fit it, because it does not fit on the tracks I have in here. It has a different set of tracks for those, and I just don't like it. I don't fit good in it. I don't fit where I'm comfortable. I feel like I'm laid back too far. I'm up. I could not get it comfortable. So since we're racing this week, I stoked my seat back in it. I said, you don't want to see it'll ever be in there. So that right there, if anybody's looking for a Pro seat, hit me up. I got one for you. Sell it to you 16.5 inches. So measure your hips to see if they're 16.5 inches. So that come out to be about 30, probably. If I had to guess, it comes out to be about 33 inches, 33, 34 maybe pushing it. But it's basically half the width of what your diameter is around you. So if you're a 32, you'll fit. If you're a 30, you'll fit. If you're a 30, you need to eat, because you're on the thin side. But if you're a 34, if you're a man size 34, we got you. Hit me up. Got a seat for you. We got transmission in, working flawlessly. We're ready to go racing this week. I'm going to check the oil on it, because I ain't checked it in a few weeks. Check and see what it looks like. But all in all, we're ready. So I've gone through and done some measurements. I'll post the pictures below of from here to here, from the floor up, and squared everything that way from the center to center on the bolt hole, so I know what I need and how high off the floor I need the frame stuff. So I'm gonna take my radiator loose, and we're gonna hack this front end off. We're gonna take this rock solid front end and weld it on. Everything's already got the tabs on. I just gotta go through and mock it up. Totaled. Anybody need a nice, lightly rusted front end? We're looking like a race car now. Look at her. Clean this stuff up. Get it ready to weld. So once you go through and cut the front end off, I've come in here with a sanding disc, and I hit all this, cleaned it all up, got all the paint off of it and all. Just only on this side. I'm gonna take this bar here, and I'm gonna come in here, and I'm gonna mount it. And when I mount it, what I'm gonna do here, my goal is to level it. So I'm gonna set it to roughly where the other front end, that bar come across on the other front end on the top. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my jack stand, I'm gonna get it set in here. I'm only gonna spot it. I'm only gonna spot like 2 or 3 spots, maybe 1, 2, 3, just to hold it there. Then I'm gonna go to my other side, I'm gonna do the same. Once I do the same with it, then I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna put my top bars on it, I'm gonna spot them in. Once I get everything in there, spotted in and set in, then we'll go through and take it and we'll square everything up, and then we'll burn it in. Like, so I'm gonna add that bar, I'll have that bar mounted for the radiator, I'll have all the stuff set up to where it's just spotted in where it's on here before I ever burn it in. That way I make sure it's square, because if I weld this crooked and then that bar's crooked, the whole front end's gonna be all jacked up. So I'm just gonna go start out by spotting everything, and then we'll go from there. So hang on a minute. All right, so I got this bar in, she's level. I just put 2 tacks in it, that way it's still movable somewhat. And I can go back through and let's go do the other side real quick, and then I'll go from there. All right, now I got the top plates welded in on both sides, cleaned up. So now I gotta go through and I got the bottom spotted. I'm gonna set the front end up on here and see how square all this crap is. And once I set it towards the body, then I'll know if I can burn it all the way in or not. Once you get the fenders where you want them at, lined up at the tops, mount it back on it, then you can start putting the tab here to weld this on, and I can burn the rest of it in. But it's looking good, it's looking like I want it to look. So everything pretty close, tilt the radiator forwards, I'll be good. Like I said, I'll get a little nice little weight reduction, get rid of all that rust, have something a little stronger up here. So let me get all this burned in. Look a little better, got it all welded in there, down there. Got the rear support, this piece is just stuck in. I don't know if I'm gonna use it yet or not. Went ahead, knocked the old mounts off my old radiator support and welded them on. That way it have support there. Now we're gonna look into how we're gonna mount the top of this, make it look decent. The front end, waiting on the paint from Advance right quick so I can black out all this. And then we'll be ready to move on to the next thing. All right, now, well, we got it painted up. Don't look too bad. So now I'm gonna set the front end back on it, get it bolted down and do some more work to it.